And we keep it moving right here on Breakfast Central on News Central. This very fine Thursday, 16th day of January 2020. You've just joined us. What you missed quite a lot, but you might just be here in time for a very special one on all about theatre. It's reinvention or perhaps a renaissance back in West Africa, Nigeria. That's what we'll be shining spotlight on culture, a bit of entertainment, if you may, specifically with the practice of live theatre in the country. Now, it seems like a normal thing now that theatre productions getting more frequent and quite popular, like it existed before. But back in the 1960s and 1980s, live theatre was vibrant in various parts of the country, including university campuses. But somewhere down the line, that interest a bit wavered a bit. But from then on, maybe because of the lack of infrastructure, funding, and yes, the rise of live television, as we know, the boom whenever it happened in the 1990s, up until the last decade, though, and now what seems like an emergence is in fact a reinvention of the practice today. And I'm very delighted to introduce our next guest, who's going to tell us all about this phenomenon of, the emergence of theatre. He's a veteran actor, producer, honored thespian, and must I say, presenter Yemi Shodimu. Welcome, sir. It's an honor to have you on Breakfast Central.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here.
Wow.
Yeah,
You've been around for quite a while, from big productions, even the Village Headmaster. Tell us, how has it been for you so far? It's spanning over 4 decades right now, even 5. I'm not mistaken.
It's been an exciting trip so far, and we're still on the trip. Gathering knowledge.
What has kept you so long in this industry? What do you think has kept you so long here?
One word that comes to mind easily is passion. Seriously, passion. I chose this direction quite early. That was before getting into the university. I chose this direction, and so far so good. Well, here and there, some things could have been better here and there, and all that.
Yeah, because
we're still pushing it.
Many might call it the all-rounder man in terms of creative performance, actor, TV presenter, broadcast journalist, radio, thespian. You've had the mix. You've gone all round. You have gone all round.
It's really a question of doing something that makes you happy, and it doesn't feel like a job anymore. It just feels part of you. And the fact that people are excited about what you're doing, and the fact that you feel that you're positively impacting on the society, why not?
Yeah.
Just keep going on. Just keep going on.
Well, let's talk about this seemingly, and I want to be very careful with my words, the seemingly renaissance of theatre culture in West Africa, Nigeria. You've been there from the early 70s, 80s, 90s. How would you compare back then and now?
The truth is, call it a re-emergence, call it a renaissance, call it a resurgence, just name it. It is good news for the society, really.
Okay.
It is good news for the society. Back in the days, then we had, quite early, we had the traveling theatres. I had the privilege and fortune.
Touring,
Yes, I had the privilege and fortune of having seen a number of them live on stage as a young boy. Way back there in Abeokuta. I talk about the Ogun days, the Ogumolas, the Droladikos, the Baba Salad.
And this is somebody called the founding fathers.
They love. The truth is, I saw all of them live on stage. And I guess that must have been building in me. And it must have had a definite impact on my choice of career and all that. And what is happening presently is like a reawakening. Okay. Kind of.
A positive reawakening?
Very, very positive. At a point, the whole thing kind of waned because we had maybe the societal issues,
socio-political, economic
issues, economic issues, issues of security and all that. So people probably just pulled back a bit. And of course, it was at the height of the emergence of the home video thing. So it was probably just easy for people to sit back and watch packaged productions and all that.
Because we're talking about the late 80s, 90s, military regimes, you know, and not much gathering.
The jackboot thing, and people...
Which is quite contrasting, so because even as a, you know, I was as a boy growing up watching you on TV, you know, seeing your movies, you know, you get the sense that the only way to even address the socio-political things at the time were through works like this and addressing the jackboots and the caricaturing of stage play of, you know, military jackboots and generals.
That's a medium that's easily offered itself for that. And to some extent, we probably seized that opportunity. But presently, people are getting more interested in this. People are coming out to watch exciting live productions, theater productions. It's a completely different feeling. I must say that.
Maybe between the old and the new theater.
Even between the live theater and what you see on TV. And even the big screen. The feel is different. And then the new and the old thing. There are younger elements in there. They are more daring presently in terms of issues.
What about style and talent?
We had talents then.
We still do now?
We still do.
Okay.
Now. We had talents who were fiercely dedicated to the trade, right? Who threw in everything. Presently, we have talents that are adventurous. They are, yes, dedicated, yes. Quite a number are. You can't say it's 100% issue, but we have very exciting talents.
We just recently, just December, there was lots going on in the city of Lagos, even with likes of Ada the Country, you know, which clearly, you know, had big reviews, and this was basically theatre on stage, had big actors, you know, coming in, women cast. But what about characterization? You know,
you really need to mention Emotan. The December period, because that was one big production too. That was one very successful outing for the outfit then. And the characters you talked about
characterization.
Characterization. Oh yes, that was why I used the word adventurous. You have directors that are daring, very daring now. They're not there's no straight jacketing in terms of creating the characters, creating their interactions, creating even the themes and all that. And
there seems to be, you know, a more focus on addressing the Nigerian story, a Nigerian nuanced perspective to things.
There is the realization that we cannot be more British than British.
Though it seems we inherited most of our thespian leanings from those colonial trappings, right?
No, I probably will not say that. I probably will not say that. It's probably one area where we've been able to liberate ourselves.
Okay.
A bit. It's certainly one area. Because we were able to tap a lot into the Alaranjo culture. Yeah, the traveling theatre culture. We've been able to tap a lot into it. But the point I was trying to make is that we're getting to realize that our stories are better told today by us, and the world is willing to listen. Right? The world is curious to know. What we had before were issues where people want to create their own idea of our story. But we are the people. We put on the shoes. We feel the pinch and all that, and we are better placed to tell our stories.
I'm really curious to also ask. Also, the last decade, we've seen growing cinema culture. If we were to juxtapose that length on length with the re-emergence of theatre in Nigeria, what would you say about that? You know, theatre, cinema.
Let's take it from video cinema. Cinema came out, and we realized that people are all of a sudden excited to compared to the days when you had the American, the cowboy films, the Indian films that people saw for free and all that. But cinema, to a large extent, was able to re-emerge.
And now there's the popcorn culture is now standard.
Great. So, well, we took that from there.
Yeah.
So we're able to merge it with the presentation of our own stories. Now, if you now take cinema and theater, I guess theater realized at the point that we don't want to be left behind. People are trooping out to see the big screen. What stops them from trooping out to see it live on stage? And that is what we're experiencing. I'll give you a quick example. The Emoton that I mentioned, for the 4 days it ran, it was a full house.
Wow.
And actually, almost at every run, people had to be politely turned back because the place was full.
But that can take us to infrastructure, because National Theatre seems to be in your days and in my young days where to be to get this and that, to get that feel of that. You know, the National Theatre in Lagos, West Africa, Nigeria is not what we're expected to be right now. Do you think maybe that's part of one of the drawbacks, and perhaps we need more, thespian infrastructure?
You've just touched on a very sore point. A very, very sore point there, because that used to be our pride. For instance, I saw big productions on the stage of National Theatre. The main bowl was like heaven.
Yeah, it was like if you can perform on that stage, then you are the A-list of A-list.
You are. The main bowl was like heaven. It was like paradise. You walk in there and magic is being created in your presence. But unfortunately, it's gone.
What can be done? You hear about places like Madison Square Garden, Royal Albert Hall in the UK. Like if you perform at these certain places that you are, even if you're an actor, but to be on theatre and be in this kind of stage, then you're A-list.
It comes down to lack of maintenance of infrastructure. A few days ago, I was just anchoring an event that had to do with this. However, lack of maintenance of our infrastructure, lack of passion for the preservation of our cultural heritage. One government after the other, initially you get a lot of lip service, and by the time they settled, that gets into the CD position. No more AB. I drive past the National Stadium, for instance, almost every week, and I feel like crying.
That's
First Start was one of the best things that ever happened, not just to Nigeria, but to Black Africa. To Africa. And for us to have allowed that edifice
to wing,
that housed such a magnitude of an event, it makes one very sad. But we can't give up.
There is hope.
We can't give up. There is hope. There is hope, and I hope there is hope. But presently, it makes one feel like crying. Seriously.
Well, talking about the re-emergence, renaissance of thespian culture in Nigeria, and you've been around quite a lot. I hear you'll be turning 60 soon, which is, if you were to talk about the future of theatre in Nigeria, with where you are now, your career, and what you've seen, what would your takeout be?
Presently, it is one industry that is taking a lot of our young ones off the labor market.
Okay.
It is one industry that is helping to douse tension. Because when people feel the gravity of social, economic pressure on them, they need something to let it out. And that provides an avenue. I will be looking at a situation where it blossoms. I'll be looking at a situation where corporate Nigeria gets very, very interested in this, because it's a gold mine.
That has to be tapped.
That has to be tapped.
And first wax, what can we expect of you? You're turning 60, you're still in the game, you look as young as ever. Well, what projects we expect of you in it's 2020? It's another decade though for you in this thing though.
I'll say quite a lot of productions.
Okay.
Stage.
On stage.
Screen, certainly.
Talk shows, your shows?
Talk shows, television, radio, yes.
So still waxing
and still anchoring quite a number of events out there.
Yeah, all right.
And I feel good about this.
All right, I hope I can get a surprise. Just as a sidebar, we watched a bit of Mamma Mia. You know, I was there at the show. And, you know, when I saw Jide Kosoko on stage to do on Mamma Mia, I went berserk. So I never know where I might see you pop up next on stage or even on film. So I got to respect and keep my fingers crossed. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming.
so much for
It's been such
having
an honor right here on Breakfast Central.
Well, if you enjoyed watching this video, click here to get more of it, and don't forget to click here to subscribe.